everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome. If you're new here, a very, very warm welcome to you. My name's Emily and I'm a knitter, crocheter and very occasional sewer. Today's episode is my weekly podcast, so I'll be covering any updates, any finished objects, of which there are 3. Stay tuned, I'm very excited. Any works in progress that I've worked on in the last week or so, any cast-ons, of which I do have a cheeky one to show you this week, which is, again, very exciting, for me anyway. And I will also be covering any acquisitions. So grab yourself a beverage because this one's going to be a little bit more in-depth than they usually are. I have quite a bit to show you. Well, not so much to show you, but more to talk about, and we'll get into it properly in a moment. But first, how are we all? I hope that you're all doing well and that you've had a really, really lovely week so far. I'm good actually. I'm much better than I was. Last week was a nightmare. Not sure if that came across well in my podcast last week, but yes, it was a nightmare, and this week is so much better, so I'm really, really happy. But yes, let me just grab my beverage. I made the mistake this morning of, basically, let's rewind a little bit. Every morning I get up before Rob. My alarm tends to go off at 5:30, so I get up at 5:30. Rob gets up about 6:30. So yeah, I'm just an early riser. But this morning, because it's Wednesday, I don't necessarily need to be up. And my work colleague, I was due to have a meeting with her today, although it's not my normal working day. She knows that I log in on stealth mode, as we like to call it. So she said to me that she obviously would like to do the meeting with me today because we didn't get time to do it yesterday. So I was like, perfectly fine. And I said to her, I'd better log in at a reasonable hour rather than 6 in the morning. And she said, yes, please. That would be very much appreciated if it would be a sensible hour. So I gave myself an extra half hour in bed this morning, which was very delightful. But anyway, all that to say, I get up earlier. So about 6:30, I will bring Rob his cup of tea. And obviously I will probably be on to my second cup of tea because I am a massive tea drinker, in case you hadn't realised. But the end of this story is that I ended up using the wrong mugs. So Rob and I, although all the mugs in the house, obviously anybody can use them, he has mugs specific to him, I have mugs specific to me. So I got the mugs out the cupboard this morning, one each, put the tea bags in and then poured the tea and realised, oh, I've poured them in the wrong cup. It was not a problem, but all that to say, I have Rob's cup this morning. This is his old work, so this is the Alpine, let me turn it around, Alpine F1 mug. So obviously you can see he worked in engineering, so there you go, Alpine F1 team, his old team. But yeah, all that to say, I ended up with his mug. He got my Little Miss Yarnaholic mug, which, you know, really suits him. But anyway, it was all very odd. Yes, our cups are extremely stained. Once a month I will clean them properly, like put some proper stuff in to get rid of all the tea staining. That's just the issue with tea. I don't know if you have this same problem, but all of our mugs are stained with tea. So we have specific mugs just for coffee because coffee doesn't seem to stain like tea does. It could be the milk though, thinking about it, because we don't have milk in our coffee. I don't know. Massive tangent, but yes, the joys of tea stains in cups. If you have a solution other than using we use Astonish. It's a brand here in the UK. I don't know if it's anywhere else, but it's called Astonish Cup Cleaner. I think that's what it's called. But basically you put the cup cleaner in, fill it with boiling water, it fizzes, it bubbles, empty it out, and the cup is like brand new. It's amazing. It's very incredible. But if you can think of a way to make sure that the staining doesn't happen in the first place, let me know some tips below. I'd love it because every single one of our mugs is stained, and it'd be nice for me not to have to go through this ordeal every month and clean all the cups only for them to get stained again, you know. Anyway, hang on. Oh, just a decaf green today. I have had enough caffeine today. Right, I was trying to think, was there something else I wanted to tell you? No, I don't think there was. Oh no, I did go for a walk this morning, actually. Well, this afternoon, I should say. I'm a bit of a whirlwind, I'm sorry, I've had caffeine. Yeah, I went for a walk this afternoon and the farmers are out in full force. I looked out the window and thought it looks a little bit hazy today. I wasn't sure why. The weather's really odd here in the UK at the minute. It is Wednesday the 28th of August. I feel like there's a storm brewing. Possibly. The air is really heavy. It's really warm. It did rain a little bit this morning before I went out to the shops, but my laundry's out, so I'm hoping it's not going to chuck it down while the laundry's out. I can see it, so if it does start chucking it down, I can easily pause the video and go rescue it. But yeah, it's a really odd day weather-wise. It's really hot, muggy, that's the good. Close air, it's very heavy and it's very muggy. So yeah, that's the temperature, that's the weather today. All that to say, I went out for my walk and the farmers are out doing their stuff. They are harvesting like nobody's business, and the further up the track was it wasn't really blocked, but there was a tractor on the track and there was a massive tractor in the field. I'll put a photo in somewhere, and it was just doing its thing, harvesting. So whether they are getting weather reports in that there is going to be a lot of heavy rain and they're harvesting now because the temperature's just, not the temperature, the moisture in the harvest is just right. They have to get it at a certain point. So whether if they leave it any longer it'll get worse, so they're harvesting now, I'm not sure, but they are out in force in the field. So I turned around and went the other way, and I ended up in one of the other fields further over. Really lovely field, and it goes past these absolutely beautiful sheep. I will put a photo in. They are my favourites. They are so beautiful. They've got such cute faces. I couldn't quite get the face of the one nearest to me, but there's one in the background that you'll see. His little face is just, oh, they're so cute. And then further over that field, go over a stile, and then you come to another field that's lined by trees, and the manor house is at the bottom. Beautiful, beautiful views. But to my right was another field where a load of other sheep are. They're usually in the field to the left with all the trees, which is really nice, but for some reason they've gone in the other field. So whether they're getting fed in that field at the minute, I don't know. Gate was open, they could have come into my field, it would have been fine. But yeah, I love seeing the sheep. So it was quite nice to have that detour. The boys aren't usually there, so the boys are the ones with the really cute faces. They aren't always in the field that I walked past first, because they're in a separate field to the ladies for obvious reasons. But yeah, they're not always in that field, so it's always a delight when they're actually sat there and looking all beautiful as they do. You know, we all love a sheep, don't we? But yeah, so I was really happy for that. But yes, anyway, I have really let's actually get started, because I do have quite a few things to show you, as I said at the start, and I have a couple of extras to add on to those. You'll understand in a little bit when I get onto my finished objects. So I'm going to start with updates, and I have quite a few on my list, so please bear with me. If you want to skip the updates, please feel free and use the chapters below. Skip to the next section, which will be finished objects, and that will be the start of the actual crafty goodness. But if you're happy to carry on with the updates, I'm going to get stuck in and let you know what's kind of coming, what's happening. And also the first update is I just want to thank you all so much for your response to last week's video. Honestly, I wasn't really expecting a response. I was nervous because in fact I didn't really sleep very well the night that I'd posted. So I put the video went live at 4 PM UK time, and then I had a really rocky sleep because I wasn't sure if I'd done the right thing in talking about what I did. So I'd mentioned the coffee account, and I'd mentioned about potentially monetizing, and I, as I say, had a rocky sleep because I felt like I'd done the wrong thing in mentioning things like that and going that route. But needless to say, I am absolutely, don't want to get emotional, but I'm absolutely blown away by how wonderfully you all took it and how the support and response that I got. Thank you so much for your support. Honestly, I was so nervous. I didn't want to, at the end of the day, I want this channel to feel like we're all here together as a community, and I would also like to be able to dedicate more time to this channel if I could, and the only way I'm going to be able to do that is if there is that side of things. Don't like talking about it, so I'm not going to dwell on it, but all that to say, I just want to thank you so much. It really did mean the world to me, and it put my mind at ease that I had done the right thing and it was okay. So yeah, thank you so much once again. I am honestly bowled away by your response and by your support. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's all like, thank you. Right, anyway, before I get weird, let's go into the next update. And the next update is the next list of videos that are coming to the channel. So the first one is my month-end wrap-up for the month of August. Now, ordinarily, I would film it this weekend, and what date is it? Oh no, Saturday is the 31st, so I probably wouldn't have been able to film it this weekend to get it out for you for Sunday. So I couldn't anyway, because my friend is coming to stay. She's my closest friend. I absolutely adore her to pieces. She is a crafter as well. She does embroidery hoops, which are absolutely gorgeous. I actually have 2 of her hoops that are hidden by the birds. You'll see them a bit later, but I can't really show you them because they're sweary. So I can't really show you them. But if you want to see them, I can show you them, and I will, well, I'll probably just double check that she's okay with me showing them, because obviously it's her work, and it's absolutely stunning, let me tell you. Absolutely very, very talented lady. I've had a go at embroidery, but I'm not the best. I don't know whether it's because I know that she does it, so if I ever have an idea for a hoop, I know I can ask her and pay her to do me a really lovely hoop, and I know it's going to be perfect, whereas if I try it, it's probably going to be terrible. But needless to say, I might try it again at some point, but needless to say, she is an embroiderer and she's very, very, very talented. But I absolutely adore her to pieces. She's one of my oldest friends. I've known her a very, very long time. Her name is also Emily, so we are the 2 Emilys. It's very, very awesome. But yeah, she's coming to stay this weekend, so I'm really, really excited, and it's been a long time since I've seen her. So yeah, well, it feels like a long time. It hasn't really been that long, but I do really miss her whenever I haven't seen her for a while. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing her. But all that to say, she's coming to stay this weekend, so I won't be filming my month-end wrap-up this weekend. I will aim to film it so that it will be ready for you. I'm just getting my notes so I've got the date, because I will forget and I can't remember off the top of my head. So my month-end wrap-up for the month of August should be available on Sunday morning. On Sunday, I'll tell you what the date is. Sunday the 8th of September at 10 AM UK time. That's when the month-end wrap-up video for August will be available. So the next video that I need to record is Behind the Seams episode 8. Now this one, I can't film it this weekend, but again, I need to wait until the Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilt Clue 8 is out, and it won't be out on that Sunday. I know that for a fact. So it will be probably filmed the weekend of the 7th and 8th, so Saturday 7th or Sunday the 8th, one of the two. I'm not sure what day it will be filmed on. That also being said, I have it noted here that it will actually be available to view on the channel on Friday the 20th of September. So that would be in place, I'll put possibly, because that will be in place of my podcast. So what I will do is I will do something very, very similar as to what I did a couple of weeks ago when we were away up in Yorkshire, because we're actually going on holiday. As I said in last week's episode, it is my birthday soon. It's a big one. So we are, myself, my mum, my dad, my sister and my brother-in-law, we are going away to Bruges for the week. So very, very excited. They've not been to Bruges before. My dad has. We took him to Bruges on the way back from Spa when we went to the 24-hour race in Spa, and stopped off in Bruges on the way back because it was on the way back. Kind of. Yeah, pretty much. But absolutely, he loved it, which I knew he would, because Rob and I have been to Bruges quite a few times now. So we're heading back there, taking my family with us, and it's going to be really, really lovely because it's my mum and dad's wedding anniversary as well, and that's going to be a really special one as well. So, it's going to be really, really exciting. Anyway, that being said, I will not be present to film a video for that week, so I'm going to have another video in place of it. So whether it will be Behind the Seams or the podcast, and then the other one will be after the other one the following week. Or no, what I did before, wasn't it? So I filmed Behind the Seams, and then that was the week before I went away that I aired it. So it will probably be the same. Very, very confusing. I tell you what, I will confirm the dates with you next week on those. But that being said, Behind the Seams episode 8 is due, and it will be in place of one of my podcasts in September. So that is coming. And the final one that I've got listed here is I am due to give you a quarterly works in progress video. So we have reached the next quarter. I have no idea when I'm going to film this. I have no idea when it's going to be out, but it will definitely be out in September because I am doing these quarterly. Now, this is a kind of new video to my channel. So basically every 4 months, no, every 3 months, oh my gosh, every quarter, I will be doing a video just going over every single whip that I have at the current time. So I will be showing you, essentially, in the month end videos, I tell you numbers, I tell you how many works in progress I have on the needles at any one time. You don't necessarily see those because I haven't worked on some of them for months, so you probably haven't seen them. So the idea was every quarter I grab every single work in progress, even if it's paused, even if it's a troublesome whip, I will pull them all out and I will show every single one to you. And it's also a great time for me to actually assess the projects. Am I going to finish them? What am I going to do? Maybe I should pull it out of pause, maybe I should do this, maybe I should just actually finish it, you know, it might be really close, and so on and so forth. It's a really good way for me to just get my hands on the projects again, because they just get squirreled away for months, as I said, and I don't think about them. I just see them listed on my works in progress and think, oh yeah, it's a pause whip, it's fine. But doing these quarterly videos means I've got to pull it out, I've got to look at it, I've got to handle it again, and I've kind of, some of them it kind of makes me think, oh yeah, I really want to finish this. Some of them, the more they are brought up, the less likely. Sorry, I've got so many messages coming through at the minute. Hang on, what is actually happening right now? Okay, sorry. The local village, village town, massive tangent here, but I'm in a village group chat and someone messaged earlier saying that the local town was being evacuated because of a bomb, an unexploded bomb or something. So I was like, oh my gosh, because Rob has to drive home through that village or through that town. And I was like, oh my goodness, perfect. He's going to get stuck in traffic. He's going to have to do a massive diversion. So I've been trying to keep on top of it and figuring out what's going on. But it sounds like the roads are open again. It sounds like the police have come, the bomb squad have come and they've taken the bomb away, apparently. I think that's what's going on. Honestly, you move to a tiny little village and you think it's going to be a quiet life. Nope. We have been a massive tangent once again. I've been at home, I've been minding my own business. The police came to the door, knocked on the door, and I was like, what is actually happening? And they said, there is a bomb. So we're evacuating the village. This was in my little village, not the one that I'm just talking about. This was a couple of years ago. I think it was before COVID. So I basically had to leave my home, drive off, not knowing when I could come home. And I was like, I don't know where to go. So I had to drive to work. I had to check with the ladies I work with. I was like, can I come to the office? I don't have anywhere to go that's nearby that I can just sit and wait for this bomb scare to be over. So I had to sit in the office and wait. And Rob, because obviously he was coming home to the village, to home, he was like, well, I've got nowhere to go. So I was like, well, come to my office. We've got no other choice. And we had to sit there and wait until one of the people who had gone somewhere more closer in the vicinity to the village was able to message everybody in the group and say, we've got the all clear, you can come home. It's just like, oh my gosh, what is going on? But yeah, so yeah, another one, but it sounds like it's all clear now from what everybody, but all that to say, the message is going bonkers and everybody's kind of, it's very useful to have a village chat because obviously you don't know what's happening half the time, but it's equally a bit, oh my gosh, this is just, anyway, right, so all back to where we were, quarterly video, it's going to happen, I just don't know when. It will definitely be in September though. Right, I think, oh, nearly 20 minutes. I am so sorry. I really hope you got yourself a cup of tea. But we are going to get into the crafty stuff after I've had another sip. Bear with me. I feel like my tangents are getting longer. I know you all gave me the green light with the tangents, but I might be getting a bit ridiculous here. Anyway, okay, so we're going to get stuck in and we're going to start with finished objects. I'm really, really excited with my finished objects. So the first one that I have to show you is behind me. I'm going to have to grab him. Hang on, make sure you can't see him. All right, so I have finished, whether or not you'll have guessed this, but I have finished my snake draft blocker. How good is he? Look, he's got a little, oh my. Oh, don't panic. Might sound a bit of glass, but it's perfectly fine. I thought that was going to happen last week, you know, when I turned the tail. I was like, oh my gosh. But he has, anyway, a little tongue. Look at this. Real cute. Little tongue. And his eyes. There we are. So this is, let me get the book. This pattern is from this book, which is The Nightmare Before Christmas, the official knitting guide to Halloween Town and Christmas Town. I love The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's one of my favourite movies. And when I saw this book on Shutter Monkey's podcast, please check out Shutter Monkey below. I will link her channel. I absolutely adore her channel. Please check it out. But I was watching her channel and she showed this book. Basically, it was a recent acquisition of hers, and I just thought, oh my gosh, I need this book in my life. So I got it essentially, and I want to knit everything that's in it. Really, I really do. So as you can see, Snake Draft Blocker is here. So I have knit that. It is by, hang on, because they're all by different, although the book says Tannis Grey, a couple of the patterns in here are by different designers. So I want to make sure that I'm giving you the correct designer names. The pattern will be linked below, as are all the patterns that I will mention. So please check out the description if you do want to have a look at any patterns further. So this is the Snake Draft Blocker by Tannis Grey. This one is actually by Tannis Grey. And it was such a fun pattern. You can see it there. It's brilliant. It's so good. And I thought, I really need this, and I really want it at the bottom of my Christmas tree, because I think that would be absolutely perfect. Curling round the bottom of the Christmas tree. Perhaps if you see it like that. Curling around the bottom of the Christmas tree, I think it would be brilliant. I know it is more of a Halloween-y style thing, but this is actually the snake in the film that was eating the Christmas tree. So it's perfect. It's got to go at the bottom of the Christmas tree, hasn't it? So here it is. It's shorter than I thought, but then it is a draft blocker. Let me turn it around because you can see the, there we go. You can't see the jog now. So yeah, it's a draft blocker. So it only needs to be as wide as a door really, which is what it is. One thing I do want to say is that the eyes, I could not find the right eyes. They were supposed to be, I think it was 20mm by 15mm, and I got really, really agitated, I should say. Very, very fixated on that they had to be the exact size. I think I stuck them in the wrong place as well, but never mind. It's my snake draft blocker. It can go wherever they like. He is still very lumpy, as I said last week. He is still very lumpy, but I have taken some of the stuffing out because I think I overstuffed him, and I feel like he looks much better now. He looks good, doesn't he? So good. The eyes. Now, the eyes. I basically had to make a decision, and that's that is the reason that it took me as long as it did to make, because I just wasn't 100% sure on the eyes. I didn't know how I was going to do them, but I came up with the idea of using felt. So I bought some white felt and I bought some black felt, and these eyes are actually made of felt, and they are stuck onto, you can see when I pull it that they move with the fabric. They are actually stuck onto his face with fabric glue. Well, there we are. So I actually filmed me doing a little tester. Here is said tester. I didn't want to just go ahead and just jump and stick them on without doing a tester first. So I actually filmed me doing this tester. So I will pop that video in here for you so that you can see the whole process that I went through of testing it before I actually stuck them on. So I'll pop that in now. All right, so this is test one of the fabric glue and the felt for the eyes for the snake draft blocker. As I've said previously, I've been looking for the right safety eyes, but I just couldn't find the right size. It was driving me up the wall, so I came up with this solution. And today I'm going to test it for the first time. So I've knit up a very small swatch in the same yarn as I knit up the draft blocker. What I've done as well is I've just cushioned it with some stuffing, so just some regular stuffing that's actually inside the snake. So I've kind of it's a bit more squishy to press against, because obviously the snake draft blocker is not going to be against a blocking mat. So that was the plan. I have also cut out my felt. There's the big eye and there's the little eye to be glued onto there. This is the glue I'm going to try. I don't know if you've tried this glue before. It's new to me. I've never actually used any glue, fabric glue anyway, so hopefully it's all right. I got it from Amazon. Obviously you can get other fabric glues and use other retailers as well, but this, because I wanted to try it out, I didn't want to go spending a fortune. So here it is. This is what I'm going to use. I have my palette knife. Had to dig into my old college and university supplies for this. I used to use these for painting, but it's going to come in handy today to do the gluing. Hopefully, that's the plan. So we're going to start with gluing the two felts together. So I've got the white felt and then I've got the black felt. So the black felt needs to be glued onto the white felt. Now, I'm going to do it all in one just for time really. But the fabric glue says apply a small amount of glue using a spatula, blah, 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 hold together for 5 minutes. That's a long time. And the glue will be completely dry in 30 minutes. So it does dry pretty quick. Iron the fabric as per fabric. Oh, that's fine. Yep. So it does say synthetic fibres on there. So that was one thing that I was concerned about, was because this is 100% acrylic, I didn't know if the glue was just going to melt through it or, I don't know, fuse it with anything. Another reason why I've put the stuffing underneath, just to see how it reacts with that as well, because I'm just not sure. But yeah, so I'm going to start with the eye first. So I'm going to have to open this. You'll have to excuse me as well, because I did stab myself with one of these under my nail. So if I start bleeding, it seems to have calmed itself down. So if I start bleeding, I do apologise. As you can see, brand new. This is going to squirt everywhere, isn't it? Not a good... Come on. Oh yeah, there we go, squirted everywhere. Right, I'll clean that up in a minute, but I know. How about I put that there and I use this? So just got to dab some glue on there, and I've just got to make sure I put this, oh my gosh, I'm making a mess already. Make sure I put that in the right place, give it a squish, there we go. Oh my gosh, it's going to be real messy this, right. That glue's actually drying pretty quick, so I'm going to have to make this quite hasty. Let's put a bit more glue on there. There we go. Oh my gosh, this glue, I'm going to say right now, is extremely runny, so just be prepared for that. I mean, it's probably good. That just feels like it's soaking into the fabric more than anything. Oh dear, we're getting in a right mess here. So this is felt that I'm using here, and it does feel like the glue is drying ridiculously fast on the felt. So half of me is wondering, oh my gosh, half of me is wondering if I either need to use a lot or, oops, let's just get that on there quick. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to have to use a lot of it to keep it, oh gosh. Let's not drop the palette knife on the actual fabric. So I'm going to squeeze that down. I'm not going to keep you here for 5 minutes. I will press that down. I'm going to try and get up some of this, because obviously these are blocking mats and I've now got glue on my blocking mats, but that's what I get. It's very, very, what's the word? Gluey. Sticky. So I'm going to come back in a minute and just let you know. I'm going to hold that down for a bit and then let you know how it went on. So speak to me. Okay, so it hasn't been half an hour yet, but I can see that it has actually, if I pull this and then pull the other side, you can see that it actually is sticking really, really nicely. Underneath, I can't really feel any issues. It hasn't gone through the yarn anyway, so that's good. I don't know if you can just about see. This is where I obviously spilled a bit, so I've tried to get a bit off with a bit of rubbing alcohol and things like that, but yeah, it'll come out I think, but it just looks a bit messy. And I think here where the eye is stuck, a little bit came out, so I think it's really important just to make sure that you don't spill out over. So I'm going to obviously glue the black piece to the eyes first, give them half an hour to dry, make sure that's all stuck down, and then I'm going to attempt to stick the eye on. So yeah, fingers crossed it'll all be fine. And if you see the finished object in this video, then it was obviously successful. But yeah, that's my little experiment. So still need to tidy this up because I can't get this out. Tried a bit of rubbing alcohol, but it's still quite gammy. Gammy, that's the word, sticky. So yeah, moral of the story, don't do it on a blocking mat. open the glue before you start using it, and rubbing alcohol gets the glue off. I mean, there's still a little bit on, but rubbing alcohol gets the glue off the palette knife, which is great. But yeah, it looks all right, does the job. I'm happy, so I'm gonna crack on. So as you can see, it didn't go completely to plan. I think you can actually see on the actual sample that there is still some of the glue here, and it just looks a little bit messy, and yeah, it wasn't the best, but it showed me that it stays put and there was nothing wrong, you know, it didn't stick to the stuffing that I put underneath, and it looked fine. But I feel like I used too much glue and I was a bit messy with it. So I learned a lot by doing this. So I do highly recommend, if you're trying out something new, especially if you're working with fabric glue, try a tester first, maybe even do a couple if you're not feeling confident after the first one, just so that you're not doing this, doing the first bit directly onto the item. Because if I show you this now, you can see that I did a much better job with these ones than I did with the tester. I used a lot less glue and I was a lot neater with how I did it. So I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I think it looks fantastic, and he's all done now, which is great because this is one of the projects I wanted to get done before Vlogmas, and it's done, which is perfect. As you can see, I did not do a jogless join. Again, not too bothered about that. I think I started doing a jogless join right at the bottom here, which you'll have to excuse him, he's a bit fluffy. There we go. I started doing a jogless join down here, but then I stopped, and you can tell that I stopped. So I haven't perfected my jogless join yet, so that's why I stopped, because I wasn't 100% sure I was doing it right, and so on and so forth. But yeah, here he is, and he is gorgeous, isn't he? I love that tongue. That tongue is great. So the yarn I used, what did I use? Where's my yarn? Here we go. Okay, so I used Stylecraft Special Aran, which is 100% acrylic. As I've said before, this snake draft blocker is just going to be on the floor, so I want it to be easy to clean, and I don't want it to be eaten by any, you know, lovely wool-loving bugs or anything. It's going to be quite well used, well loved, so I didn't want to spend a fortune on the yarn, but I'm so happy with it. Anyway, so that is the yarn that I used. This colour is black. And then the orange that I used, again, the same yarn. This ball's a bit of a mess, I do apologise, but such is the nature, I'm afraid. And the orange is in the colourway Copper. Now these are two balls. This is a ball for another project, and this one was the second ball that I bought just in case I needed a second ball. I didn't, because this is what was left of the black. So I bought 100 grams, so I bought this size, and this was what is left of it. I only used this one. And with the orange, this is the size of the ball that I bought, and then this was what was left. There you go. Not a lot at all. Now I have used some of this in a project I'm going to show you in a bit, and I also used it to sew up his mouth. So his mouth, I don't know if you can see that, his mouth is actually, so you kind of sew up the middle and then you sew up the sides as well. I was very confused as to what was going on, but I figured it out and I've done it. So I used the orange for sewing up as well. But yeah, as I say, that's all I had left at the end, which is great because I love a project that doesn't have leftovers, really. Can't really consider that leftovers. That could be waste yarn for another project, but again, I'll show you in a moment. But that is, I feel like I've dwelled on him a lot, but he is worthy. So that is my snake draft blocker. All finished, ready for Vlogmas. So let me put him back behind me. There we go. All right, so I'm really pleased that that is done, because that was weighing on me a little bit and I wasn't 100% sure if I could get it finished just because of those eyes. But I was really happy, and it really put my mind at ease doing this tester and testing out my idea for the eyes. It was amazing. So I'm really pleased that I did that. Right, on to the next finished object, and this one I'm kind of sad about, but I'm really happy, but I am very sad about it. And the next finished object is John the Woodpecker. here he is, he's finished. John is the final bird of Christmas from this book, which is A Partridge in a Pear Tree, Crocheted 12 Birds of Christmas by Kerry Lord of Toft. I'm really sad because I've crocheted all of the birds now. This is it. This is the last one. He's done. And I'm really sad about it because they're all done. But I'm also really happy because now all of these birds, all these legs that you're seeing up here, they're all done. They're finished. So yeah, I'm really, really happy. He was quite fun to make, but as I said in a previous episode, and I think I said it in Behind the Seams as well, was it episode 7? It might have been episode 7. Basically, the head really threw me because the pattern in the book had an error in it, and I basically reversed what was written in the book for the red and the cream for the head. But after I'd gone through that and said, I think there's an error in the book, one of your wonderful selves did leave a comment to say that yes, there is. Toft have an erratas page. So I will link that once again below. So for any of their publications, any errors that may be in those publications will be listed on that erratas page, and the solution to what the errors were are also listed. So you can just click on that page, find your publication, click on your publication, and then it will list all the errors for you and all the solutions for them. And John the Woodpecker was one. I think Nina was another one, and I think, so Nina the Sandpiper, and I think Margot the Swan was another one in the Birds of Christmas book as well. But yeah, he's done. I love these wings. How striking are those wings? They are so good. His tail, I think he's got the longest tail of all the birds. And I love his little do. The best little do. He's great. And I'm really sad because they're done. I do have the mini ones to do as well, but there's something else that might come along with those as well, but I need to double check a couple of things before I start them or even look at starting them. But yeah, here he is. John the Woodpecker, all done. I will put in a video actually of John added to the rest of them, and I'll show you a video of all of them lined up because I think that's going to be really sweet. So I'll just pop that in now. All right, so look at them all. They are all together at long, long last. I'm so happy about them, I really am. So I'm going to try and remember them all. This is, let's actually come in close, shall we? This is, I think it's Felix the Partridge. Oh, maybe I need the book. Hang on. Also, this is the mess that I have to tidy up. Oh, it's a lot of mess. Right, I need this. Hang on. Okay, right. Okay, so Felix the Partridge. There he is. Then we have Beatrice the Turtle Dove is this one. Then we have Ruth the French Hen. Peter the Blackbird is this one. This is Gilbert the Pheasant. This is Lydia the Goose. This is just a lovely, lovely duck and its egg. I love that statue. Anyway, that's not a bird of Christmas. This is Margot the Swan. This is, oh, I can't remember this one. Who have we got? Delilah the Cattle Egret. This is, oh, I forgot this one as well. Lewis the Cormorant. This is Agnes the Heron. This is Nina the Sandpiper, and this is John the Woodpecker. You can just about see my friend's embroidery in there as well. It's absolutely stunning. Anyway, so if I move back, here we are once more. The absolutely beautiful Birds of Christmas by Kerry Lord of Toft. They are all from this book, A Partridge in a Pear Tree, Crochet the 12 Birds of Christmas. And there they all are. Happy days. Oh, it feels like an end of an era. I think I started them in May 2023 was when I started making these Birds of Christmas. And I really wanted to get them done for Christmas of 2023, but I didn't. So I'm really, really happy and excited that they are all done and that all of them are going to be featured in Vlogmas. Very exciting, but also sad. The project is over. It's really sad. But that just opens the door for more projects and more exciting things in the future, so to speak. Right, I don't know where I'm going to put him. Let's put him there for now. Can you see? Oh, you can. Oh, that's a good idea, isn't it? There he is. Right, okay, so we're on to the final finished object for this week, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to guess this. I think I kind of made it pretty obvious last week of a project that I simply could not put down. And my final finished object for this week is my Sophie Shawl. This is a pattern by Petite Knit, and it's the first pattern I've ever done by Petite Knit, and I've been looking at is it the Sophie scarf, which is a lot smaller. It's more of like a little neckerchief that you tie. I love it and I get the craze for it, but it's not something I would wear. I need a nice big plush shawl. That's what I need. I liken this to kind of a scarf, really, because of how big it is. So I knit the large. In fact, you can see here, sorry, I'm going to show you this before I carry on. Here was where I got to last week. And then I just did all of that. I was obsessed with this thing, honestly. It is such a fun, intuitive knit. It is beautiful. It has these lovely I-cord edges down both sides. So down that side and then down that side as well. It is beautiful. It's just perfection. I love this shawl. I do highly recommend it if you want to give it a go. And the pattern does it in small, medium and large. As I say, I've made the large. I'm not entirely convinced that my choice of yarn was the right weight that she had in the pattern. I didn't check the gauge. I have not blocked it either because I don't think it needs it, if I'm honest. So I'm going to put it on quickly, even though the weather is not the weather to be wearing this kind of thing, but here it is. Nice big, warm, plush, cozy. Oh, it'd be perfect with my coat on and squish it in. Oh, it's gonna be lovely. It is absolutely gorgeous. I'm absolutely in love with this so much. And I think another reason why it's really hot. Another reason why I'm absolutely in love with this is because of the yarn. So the yarn I used was, I held two yarns together. So I held this yarn and this yarn together. And the main yarn is this absolutely gorgeous colourway. Well, this absolutely gorgeous yarn. So here it is. This I bought from our trip to Bergen in Norway back in April. And it is hand dyed by Fjord Fibres. So you can see yarn hand dyed in Bergen. I've said this a couple of times. This is what I look for when I go on holiday and I go into a yarn shop. I am hoping that I come across a yarn that is hand dyed locally, and you can't get more local than being hand dyed in the actual city that you've gone to visit. So I was just blown away. I was just, yes, let me have it. So I bought it. It is in the colourway Forage. The details of the yarn are, here we go. So let me fold the band, hang on, there we go. So it is 100 grams, 350 meters. It is 80% wool, 20% polyester. The yarn base is Troll Fjord sock, and that is all the details on that. I think that's a DK. Am I right in thinking that? I think that's a DK weight. But essentially what I did was I bought 2 skeins of 200 gram skeins, and that is what I have left from the 200 grams. I have not weighed them. I should have weighed them. Do I have something to weigh them with? I don't think I do. I do apologise. I don't have anything to weigh them with. I might try and... No, it's definitely upstairs. I was just thinking I've got some small scales I could weigh them with. What do we think? 25 grams? 50 grams? No, it can't be 50 grams. Oh, it could be. It might be. But yeah, that's what I've got left of the 200 gram skeins. And the other yarn that I held with it was Filcolana Tilia, and this is 70% kid mohair, 30% silk, 210 meters per 25 grams. And I bought, oh wait, the colorway is 336, and I bought 3 balls of this, and this is all I have left. So if I hold that up again, I haven't weighed it, but there's quite a lot left of this. There is quite a lot. Again, I haven't weighed it. It's very silly me, but that is what I have left from 200 gram skeins of yarns and what would essentially be 325 grams of mohair. So there's quite a bit left. I could probably make something, I don't know, maybe I don't want to use them for a pair of socks. The yarn is actually quite woolly, so I probably wouldn't want to make a pair of socks. I suppose I could make Rob a pair of socks, couldn't I? I couldn't use the mohair in the sock. I suppose I could, but I think he'd be a bit confused by having fluffy socks. But I could, because he likes really woolly socks. So I could make a pair of socks, but it's only 2-ply. It does have nylon in it. I don't know, talking to myself here. But anyway, that's what I've got left, so I can think of another little cheeky project. And I will weigh them before I do another cheeky project. But yeah, this project I'm so pleased with. This is my Bergen shawl, and I could not be happier with it, to be honest. It's just beautiful. The drape is stunning. It's lovely. It does have a bit of stiffness to it, but that would be the wool, the woolliness of it. I might block it. I'm still not sure. What do you think? Should I block it? I'm not sure. I don't think it needs blocking, but maybe if I block it, it might soften it a bit and it might just bring it out a little bit more. So I may just block it. I'll think about that. Answers below if you think I should block it. Let me know. But there it is, the Sophie Shawl by Petite Knit. Beautiful. Oh, I could not put this project down. Hence why it's finished so fast. Right, so that is my final finished object for this week. Now we are on to works in progress, and I really don't have that many works in progress for you this week. I'm just looking at it. Yeah, I really don't, but it's exciting all the same. So I have the first item that I have that is a work in progress is the lovely, hang on, I've been really neat and I've folded it all up, which is not ideal really because I need to show you, so I can't show you it full. Well, I could. Anyway, this is the Dotty Cardigan by All About Annie. This is the back panel. Again, you've seen this loads, but I can actually show you the beautiful texture that this cardigan has. It is a lovely dotty texture. It's just gorgeous. I love this. It's an oversized boxy cardigan, so essentially you just knit the back panel, the 2 front panels, sleeves, and sew it all together and do your collar or button band. Faux button band, I would say. I suppose you could put buttons on it, but the pattern doesn't require that you put buttons on it. This is front panel number 1. Again, you saw this last week. And then this week, the progress that I have for you is I have finished panel number 2. So that's where I got to last week. And as you can see, I just really powered through and finished the final front panel. So all I need to do now are the 2 sleeves, sew it together, and then pick up for the button band. I might sew the body together before I do the sleeves. No. I'll do this. I'll do all the knitting first up to the collar. So I'll do the 2 sleeves, then I'll sew it together, and then I'll do the pick up for the button band. But yeah, that is where I'm at. The yarn I'm using, where is it? Oh, excuse me. The yarn I'm using is Stylecraft Special Chunky, and the colourway is Parchment. This again is 100% acrylic, but I have used this for every single Dotty cardigan that I've made. I do feel like a bit of a broken record, I do apologise. But I have made, this is my 4th Dotty cardigan. I've made one for myself, which is in like a green colour. I then made a replica of mine for my friend who is actually coming on Friday, because when she came to mine and it was on the chair, she kept putting it on and I thought she was going to go home with it. So I've made her own in the same colour, so we're kind of twins, you know. And then I made my cousin one in this colour. It was slightly cropped because she wanted it shorter in the body. So I made her one in this colour because that's the colour she requested. And then I am making this one as a gift for one of my friends because she requested, well, she asked if I could possibly do a cardigan for her. I showed her the pattern, she loved it because it's gorgeous. And then she said either in the colour grey or beige. So then I showed her this colour because I thought, I think you might like this colour, and she loved it. So yeah, I bought that for her. I also have another 10 balls of this. I have so much of this yarn to make myself one in this colour because I love this colourway. It's beautiful. It is very soft yarn. It does have that slight acrylic feel to it, and it does doesn't felt, but it pills a bit, so just be wary of that. But it's absolutely fantastic. I love my cardigan so much. I wear it so much. It's, well, not right now because it's really hot, but I have worn it so much. It's absolutely brilliant. I love it. So yeah, that's what I'm using. And again, that is the absolutely beautiful Dotty Cardigan by All About Annie. It's just all about that texture, isn't it? It's just gorgeous. Oh, it's so nice. So yeah, getting there with that. I'm really happy because my plan with this is to get it finished before Christmas. I want it to be with her before Christmas. If I can get it to her before the months start getting colder, that'd be even better. But I'm not going to push myself too hard because, as I say, the deadline that I've put on myself is a deadline that I've put on it. My friend hasn't given me a deadline. She hasn't pressed me for it. In fact, she might not even remember that I'm making it for it, to be honest. But I said I would, and I'm doing it because I love knitting this, and I'm not sure how many more of these how many more knitted items I can fit in my wardrobe. Well, of the same item, I should say. But yeah, so really excited to get that done for her, and I hope that she loves it as much as I've loved mine. Right, okay, on to the next item. I'm going to move that out the way. We're on to the cross stitch stuff now because that is the only work in progress that I can think of. I'm just going to check back actually last week and see, yeah, it is. I've not touched Santa Claus, who I worked on last week, and I've not touched the emotional sport chicken. So yeah, that is the only knitting whip that I can think of that I've worked on in the last week that hasn't been a finished object, because obviously the finished object I worked on in the last week and I finished 3 of them. So yeah, mind you, there was a lot of knitting on the Sophie Shawl, so I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. I've got a really, really annoyingly itchy nose. I think it's the mohair. Oh, let me have a quick sip before we get into the next part. I feel like it's dramatic pause, isn't it? When anybody takes a sip of tea, it's like dramatic pause. I love tea. Right, okay, so we're on to the, oh no, we're not. We're still on the works in progress, my apologies, but we're on to the cross stitch. And I haven't finished any, obviously, because they're not in the finished objects, in the finished objects section, but I have done some work, and the first one that I've done some work on is the absolutely beautiful Trick or Treat cross stitch by Letty Stitch. And I realised that I hadn't actually shown you the front. There we go. So this is the cross stitch. It is by Letty Stitch. It's called Trick or Treat, and it's just beautiful. And I am now working on the back stitch. As you can see, I have done some more back stitching on the pumpkin, and I have started on the lovely brown cat. So I've still got a fair way to go on it, to be honest, with the back stitch, but I'm just not a huge fan of back stitch. Got to be honest. I know that Anne of Toby Knits absolutely loves back stitch. Anne, if I could send this to you and you could do the back stitch, that would be amazing. But I will soldier through. It will be fine. It looks amazing, and I totally get the point of that it does bring the cross stitch to life. But yeah, I haven't fallen in love with back stitch yet, but it does look so effective. It really does, as I said, bring it to life. It's beautiful, and it's just finishing it off really, really nicely. I absolutely adore this cross stitch. It's beautiful, and yeah, I kind of wish that I had enough time. I mean, I may have enough time if I'm quick enough to do the second one. This is the second one. What is this one called? This is called Boo to You. And it's really lovely. So it'd be really nice to have those two together. And I thought for Vlogtober, is it? Yeah, Vlogtober. I thought it'd be really nice to have them kind of hanging either side, but you wouldn't see them anyway. They'd be too far back. But it's absolutely beautiful. I really love it. And I'm really, yeah, really close, just not close enough yet. But I am getting there. Beautiful. Oh, and this stitch mark, this needle minder, I absolutely adore. It's obviously a ghost, but it glows in the dark as well. Not that I'd be cross-stitching in the dark, but it glows in the dark. It's beautiful. Anyway, that is the Trick or Treat Letty Stitch. Trick or Treat pattern by Letty Stitch, and it's just, oh my gosh, I love it. I do. It's just, I will get there on the back stitch. It will be fine. Right. Onto the final work in progress that I've been working on, and I'm really, really happy with this one because this is the Witchy Way by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. So that's their logo, Caterpillar Cross Stitch. There you are. Really itchy nose. I'm so sorry. It is so itchy. I shouldn't make things out of mohair really because it just makes my nose really itchy. Anyway, so this is a stitch along by Caterpillar Crochet. It is their current stitch along, so it's currently happening, and we got the first clue in, hang on, I've got it here somewhere. The first clue came out on the 17th of July and the second clue was released on the 13th of August. The next clue, which is clue 3, is going to be released on the 10th of September. So I really need to get a wiggle on with this. So I'm going to quickly hold this up. This is the clues as they are. So this was clue 1, so this house here. Clue 2 is the potion shop. So that one is the most recent release and this was the first release. So let me show you what I've done. Ta-da! I have finished clue 1. Look at that. Oh, it looks so good, doesn't it? I'm so happy that I finished clue 1. Just getting there very, very slowly. The nice thing about caterpillar cross stitch is there is no back stitch. So that is it. It is done. And it still looks really, really good. So this is the Bat Tavern. As you can see, there's a couple of bats flying around. There's a lovely cat just sat here. I love this candlestick in the window here. It looks so, so good. I'm really pleased with it. And again, I think I've said this before, I love the colour palette. It's just fantastic. Now, this cross stitch is where this needle minder came in. So I paid a little bit extra to get the needle minder and that was the one for the cross stitch. The needle minder that I've got on there is one that they just sell on the website. It says Hello Pumpkin. Obviously it needs to be on here. But yeah, I'm really, really happy that clue 1 is finished. I think it looks it's a decent size, isn't it? I think it looks really, really good. So the next piece is going to go on this side and it's the potion shop. And it does come into the cat a little bit, so that's going to be really interesting. So the first thing I need to do is take this off the hoop and then move it across. Excuse me. And then I need to move the hoop. I need to move the hoop across so that I've got the next area ready. Now the first thing I need to do once I've took it off the hook, took it off the hoop, hang on. I've got something in my throat. Always fun. Hopefully that'll take care of it. I don't think it has because it feels really itchy. Anyway, so I need to get the hoop off. Then what I need to do is I need to sew around all these edges to stop them from fraying because as you can see, we've got a bit of a mess going on down here. And I really, really don't want it to get any worse than that. So I'm going to sew around the edges. I think I might use either a zigzag stitch or just 2 lines of normal stitch, but either way that is the first thing I need to do is just sew around the entire perimeter of the fabric and then I will be happier that it's not gonna get any worse, hopefully, fingers crossed. I might even do a little French seam, not a French seam, a fold over seam, you know, where they tuck it in. I don't know, I'll see how I feel, but yeah, there it is and I'm really, really pleased. Just, oh, it's so, so lovely. I love the style of this pattern so much. It's lovely. Yeah, this fraying is not good. So yeah, that's the next step. But oh, it's so lovely. I'm so happy. There it is. All right. So those are all of the works in progress for today. And that brings us on to my cast on. I do have a cheeky cast on, as I said. And I've done a fair amount on it actually. So this is another reason why there's probably not many whips because I've been working on this as well. This project that I am about to show you is another gift and it needs to be started. So I've started it and I'm really glad that I have because I had no idea it was going to be this arduous. So without further ado, this is a festive stocking. I'll turn it that way around actually so you don't see the jog. There we go. This is a festive stocking. I mean, you can tell it's a festive stocking because it's 1 in festive colours and 2, it just looks like a festive stocking, doesn't it? Obviously, it's never going to fit my foot because that's not the idea of it. It's supposed to be one of those that you hang on your fireplace and you put presents in. That's what it's for. For the eagle-eyed among you, you may have noticed a little pattern that might hint as to where the patterns come from. So this, yeah, here we go. This fella here, that is 0 from The Nightmare Before Christmas. So I'm going to show you where the pattern has come from. The pattern is out of this book. It was in one of my plans. I can't remember which month it was, but it was definitely in one of my plans. I'm going to make, technically I'm going to make 4 of these. So I'm going to make 2 in this colourway, one for the person I'm making them for. I nearly told you who. one for the person I'm making it for. In fact, I think I have told you who, because I'm pretty sure they don't watch my videos. So one in this colourway for the person I'm making it for, and one in this colourway for me, because I would love for these to be on either side of my fireplace during Vlogmas. I think it would be so nice. So let me get to where the pattern is. Here we go. So these are going to be the Festive Stockings. Who is it by? It is by, oh my goodness, please bear with me, and I do apologise if I pronounce this terribly, but it is designed by Jessie Ostermiller. So there you go, Festive Stockings by Jessie Ostermiller. And here they are. Let's get the glare off. There we go. So those are they. As you can see, I've gone with this colourway for the one I'm working on. And then I will be doing a kind of Halloween colourway for the other one. So where is my bag? Here we go. Right, so I think you just saw the colours anyway. So the other colourway, obviously I've got this one. And then I'm going to be using black. What colour is this? This is pistachio. And then this is spice. So I'm going to be using these for the other stocking. I don't know what order yet. I feel like black is going to be the main colour. So where the white is, put it on my shoulder. I feel like black is going to be the main colour, and then possibly that order. Not sure. Maybe that order. I don't know. But I think that's going to be brilliant, because then obviously the black is going to be where 0 is. It's going to be all these different, yeah, it's just going to be great. So as I say, those are the colours I'm going to use for the other stocking, and I'm going to make 2 of those as well. So one in festive Christmas colours and one in, I was about to say festive Halloween colour, kind of is festive I suppose, one in Halloweeny colours. I wasn't sure actually, so I've got, you could perhaps help me with this. So I've got the black and I've got the pistachio, I'm happy with those. And then I'd got spice as the next colour. So there's those 3, but I wasn't sure whether it needed to be spice, or because I have another copper, whether it should be copper. Let me know what you think. Copper, which is this selection, or spice, which is this selection. I'm leaning towards spice, if I'm honest, because my snake's in copper. I don't know if it's just that little bit too dark. I don't know if it needs to have a bit of brightness, which is the spice, rather than, tell you what, should we do that? That or that? Copper or spice? I think it should be spice. But let me know in the comments below which one you think it should be. I think it should be spice, possibly, but I could be persuaded otherwise. Let me know. But anyway, all of the yarns are in, again, Stylecraft Special Aran. The colourways are that I'm using for the actual one that I'm working on. I think the ball bands are in here, bear with me. So I've got white, so that's that one. Then I have, oh, that's quite handy, green. It's going well. And I think the red is actually lipstick. Copper, oh it is. So the red is the shade lipstick. There we go. So those are the ones that I'm using in the current stocking, festive stocking. There we go. Again, 100% acrylic, and again, because it's just going to be a decoration, I'm perfectly fine with that. It doesn't need to be super soft or anything like that. It's fine. And what was I going to say about this? Right, yes, no, I'm going to get into it now actually. So I thought this project would work up super fast because it is an Aran weight. Well, the pattern states worsted, so I think mine's a little bit smaller. I'm not sure. That could just be my tension. But anyway, the pattern calls for worsted weight yarn. Aran, very close. Either way, I'm using Aran. So I thought it's going to knit up so fast. It's going to be fantastic. How wrong could I have been? It is really, really arduous. And I don't know if you can tell why. But let me pull this needle out for you. Look at the size of the needle I'm using. This is a 2.75mm needle, which is a US 2. Is that a US 2? Let me get my, yeah. So it's a US 2 needle, 2.75mm. And I'm using that for Aran weight yarn. So the fabric is ridiculously dense. I understand why, because it is a festive stocking. So whenever you put the toys in or presents or whatever, it needs to hold its shape. It can't sag. It can't really give too much, which it doesn't because it is solid. And it's taken me forever. So I'm knitting it with, let me get this straight. So I'm knitting it, as I say, 2.75mm needles. The needles are from my little Chalgu set. So Chalgu twist shorties. I am using the 3-inch needles. I think, are they 3-inch? Yeah, they've got to be, haven't they? 3-inch. Yeah, 3-inch needles. So those are the 3-inch needles. So they're quite small. And the cable that I'm using is from my other set, which is this one. And I am using the cable that is 14-inch. So yes, very, very small circumference, but that's fine because the pattern is written to work with double pointed needles. So 4 double pointed needles, well 5 because you've got your working needle as well, but double pointed needles. I am not a fan of double pointed needles, I have to say, and especially doing colour work like this. I didn't want to use double pointed needles because I am, if you remember my wrap up for 2023, I said that one of my goals for this year was to get better at colour work and be more confident with it. So I have been trying my best, learning new things, which I'll get onto in a minute, and double pointed needles just aren't really going to help me at this stage because obviously I'm going to have weird tension where the needles join, and I didn't really want that. So I thought I'm just going to get the small circulars and do it completely in the round. I started off in magic loop and then decided very quickly against that and just thought, no, I am going to do it completely in the round, like so. So that's fine. It's quite arduous on the hands because of the denseness of the fabric. It's really light because it is acrylic, so that it's got that working for it, but yeah, it's a bit arduous. Anyway, onto the pattern itself. Oh, all that to being said, it's been quite hard to read the pattern because the pattern is written to work with because the pattern is written to work with double pointed needles. They basically say to, I can't remember what the name of the heel is, hang on. It's a new heel to me, which is quite exciting. There's a lot going on in this project, let me tell you. So the heel is called Forethought Heel. I've never done a forethought heel before. So obviously those of you out there who have, you understand what I'm explaining, but essentially from what I can understand, there is a piece of scrap yarn that is knitted into the fabric, and that is technically your forethought heel. So when I come back to do the heel, that is where it's going to be, where that orange yarn is, I believe. Not sure, could be completely wrong, but that's the understanding that I'm getting anyway. So I've placed my heel, as you can see. So I'm starting on the next chart, which is the leg, so the next colourwork chart. So yeah, it was a bit awkward trying to figure out what the pattern was telling me to do when obviously it's telling me move so many stitches to needle 1 from needle 4, then slip them back, and you've got so many needles on so many stitches on needle 4, so many stitches on needle 1, and I was like, I've only got one set of needles here, what's going on? So it took a little bit of thinking to actually get it through my head what was actually happening, what I needed to do, because I started off knitting on the purl side, on the wrong side, and I was like, no, this cannot be right because then I'm going to have a purl bump on the outside. It just doesn't seem right. So I figured it out and I've done it, so I'm really pleased. I think I've done it. I haven't got to the actual forethought heel yet. That is just the setup. But anyway, I'm learning a new technique. Very exciting. And I'm practicing my colour work. So, sorry. The colour work brings me to this beautiful book. This is Colour Work in the Round by Anna Deveau of Along Avec Anna. I absolutely adore Along Avec Anna. I love their patterns. I love their yarn. Massive fan. And this book just... I bought it earlier this year, and if I remember correctly, I got it signed. I think you can see that. I hope you can see that. I don't know if you can, but I got it signed. I was very happy. Oh, it's so nice. I'd love to go to her store actually and pay a visit to the actual store. So maybe I will. I might do that because, oh, hang on. My apologies. I'm not entirely sure where I got to and what I was saying. Rob just phoned me, and I had no idea it was that time of the day, because Rob, bless him, whenever he finishes work, he will phone me. He will obviously get in his car, and then he will phone me before he comes home or while he's driving. Not on his physical phone, he phones me through Bluetooth through the car, so it's hands-free, and he's fully concentrating, fully driving, all of that. But he'll phone me without fail every day when he's on his way home, and I had no idea it was that time of the day, as I just said. So, and I completely didn't think this video was going to take as long as it has to film, so I didn't message him and say, I'm filming, don't phone me. But yes, that is why the video has jumped, because obviously I had to answer. Bless him, he's lovely. So yes, Robbie's on his way home, so I need to wrap this up quickly, because yeah, when he gets home he'll see the state of the floor, and I need to do the washing up as well. So anyway, right, back to this book. Absolutely gorgeous book. And all that to say, this book, I was so happy to get it because, as I said, I really wanted to work on my colour work this year. I want to get better at it. I want to learn how to carry long floats, and I want to make it tidier, because it's just yeah, definitely something I want to do. So this book is, as I say, absolutely brilliant. Let me just, it is absolutely jam-packed, full of techniques, full of hints and everything. It covers so much. And then so up to page 105 is techniques and helpful tutorials on how to do colour work. It's absolutely fantastic. It really is. I'm just so pleased with it. So it starts with the basics, and it goes all the way up to just managing your yarn tension, steeking, etc. It's brilliant. And then it has some absolutely beautiful patterns in the back as well. So brilliant. And all that to say, this book, I pulled it out when I started this pattern, and I thought, I know, I'm going to read the book and then I'm going to work on the pattern, because I'm going to see if this book can help me do a better job with the colour work. And let me tell you, it has. It really has. So first and foremost, it has shown me how to carry the floats. I'm still not 100% sure about the float carrying, because it's hard to explain. I feel like it peeks through, because when I did my, I'm trying to find an example. When I did my For Fox's Sake sweater, I was having issues. So for example, I've carried a float here, and you can see it if you pull it apart. But I don't know if it's the same with all of it. It's not that noticeable really, is it? But I know it's there. I know exactly where it is. And, you know, part of me thinks, maybe I'm not carrying it properly. But that was the first technique. And actually, in this type of fabric, you really cannot see that I've carried a float in his body. So if I pull him apart, you can just about see, I think, there that I carried a float. But only if you really pull it. And it's not going to be that way. You cannot see it there, can you, at all? So I think I've carried it right. But all that to say, yeah, I'm still not sure. But the main thing, if I can do this, oh my gosh, I can turn it inside out. I learned about colour management, and I learned about dominant colours and how to basically change the yarn. So I'm obviously I'm using 2 different colours at the minute, and I learned how that depending on where you pull the yarn from, whether you pull it from under or over the top, changes how the stitches look on the front. Not only does it obviously change how it looks on the back, but it changes how they look on the front as well. So if I show you the back, look how neat that is. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I'll have to show you. I'll insert some footage actually of actually, hang on one sec. My apologies once again. I feel like I'm all over the place with this video. It seems to be a pattern recently, but I really wanted to show you this. This is this is the 3rd colourwork sweater that I have made. This is the Af Miley sweater. Can't remember who it's by, but I will have it linked below. This is a free pattern, and it is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I knit it with Let Lopi wool. It is Let Lopi, isn't it? So Icelandic wool. It is single ply, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I made one in black with multicolour. It had many different colours for the yoke, and then I've made one in blue for Rob because he requested one, which was fine. So this is my 3rd one, so I made 3 of these essentially. I absolutely loved it. I mean, the pattern is absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? So lovely. But yes, this is my third one, and it is just gorgeous. It's got a lovely pattern at the bottom, got a pattern there as well on the sleeves. It's beautiful. Love this sweater, and I highly recommend giving it a go. I might try and make one in a slightly softer yarn because Let Lopi is quite fibrous. I think you can see that. It's very fibrous and it's quite scratchy. So if you are sensitive to scratchy yarns, wash it a lot, I think. From what I've heard, the more you wash it, the softer it gets. Rob's one is actually really soft, but it hasn't been washed that much because he doesn't wear it. But he doesn't like jumpers. He just doesn't wear jumpers. He's one of those that he's just always in shorts. But it's beautiful. Anyway, where I'm going with this, the colour work, it looks really, really neat actually. And I'm going to turn it inside out. And hopefully I hadn't learned it at this point. I'm not sure if I had. Had I? Possibly actually. That's weirdly neat. So this was like this is my third attempt at colour work, and I feel like that is a little bit chaotic. I mean, obviously you can see the pattern through, but it is slightly chaotic, and I feel like I'm just trying to look at, I think I pulled on the top on all of them, or underneath, possibly underneath actually. But yeah, so that is that, and then this is what I'm working on. I mean, you can, yeah, I think you can see a slight difference. I don't know actually, I'm doubting myself now. Did I know this beforehand and then just forgot? I don't know, but it does look quite neat, doesn't it? I think my my demonstration has perhaps failed. But anyway, dominant colours I have learned about, and I am definitely going to be applying it. I mean, I know this is actually quite messy. If I bring it up close, you can see it is quite messy. So like, where is it? This star here, this one here, a little bit messy. But anyway, needless to say, there it is. I feel like I failed at showing you the point. I should have looked at this beforehand. But anyway, love this sweater. Highly recommend it if you want to give it a go. It is just fantastic. It is knit from bottom up, so bear that in mind. You start with the bottom of the body, you knit it up, then you do the sleeves. This has turned into the Miley sweater now. So body up to where the sleeves start, then you do the sleeves from the cuff up, then you add it all together, and then you start in the round of doing the yoke up. So yeah, that was a really lovely construction. I've not done a jumper like that since, I don't think. I probably have, knowing me, but anyway, that is the Miley sweater. Complete tangent there. But anyway, all that to say, there's a lot of ends, as always, but yes, all that to say, I have learned about how to carry these floats and how to pull colours correctly, so to speak, so that there is a dominant colour. And I mean, it looks so neat on the back, doesn't it? It looks really lovely, and my tension has become really, really even. I'm really pleased with it. It just looks so, so nice. It could be the case that it's really thick yarn and it's a really dense fabric, so it's probably just really easy to do it that way. I don't know. But there we are. I thought I'd show you the inside just because it looks really good. I'm really pleased with it. Let's turn it back inside out. So, loving this project, kind of, question mark. I'm not enjoying the fact that the pattern is written for double pointed needles, because it is making me think several times as to what I'm doing, because obviously I am just knitting on circular needles, so that's a bit of a challenge. And obviously I was led into the false sense of security, because I did not read the pattern before I started knitting it, that it was going to be knit on such small needles, so 2.75. But it's beautiful. I really, really like it, and I think the person who's going to receive it is going to love it too. So I've got 4 of these to make. So yeah, better get a wheel on, really. Right, okay, so I need to get a wiggle on with this podcast as well, because Rob's going to be home anytime soon, and honestly the floor is filled with stuff, and I do need to film a couple more clips for you as well. I need to film my birds. Right, so we're on to acquisitions, and the first acquisition I have in fact the only acquisition, but I'm going to tell you about a couple more. The acquisition is just simply that I have received some lovely navy fabric. I think there's 4 meters of navy fabric here. It's my first time buying fabric from Amazon. Obviously other retailers are available, but I thought I'd give it a go, see. Did I get it from Amazon? I did. It was an independent seller on Amazon, so it wasn't direct from Amazon. It was from a seller who is selling on Amazon, so a fabric store that sells on Amazon. Cannot remember the name of the fabric store, I do apologise, but here it is, just plain old navy fabric. It's cotton, 100% cotton, so it's going to be perfect for some bags, and that is what I'm going to be incorporating in one of my videos that I am working on, and that video is going to be a start to finish of some project bags, which I'm really excited to film and I'm really excited to go through with you, because yeah, I'm quite excited to see how you find this style of video, and it just, I feel like it's a nice kind of video to film as well, so it'll take me a little bit of time, but it is coming. And as I say, this fabric, now that's come in, I should be able to start doing some work on that video. It's exciting. I'm excited anyway, I hope you're excited. Right, the final 2 items I do have, I think I mentioned it last week, I have an order coming in from Innocent Bones, and they are a cross-stitch company and they design cross stitches similar to caterpillar cross stitch, but they're more kind of folklore-y, sorry, my brain just had a what moment, I'm sorry. I don't know what that was about. Anyway, the patterns are absolutely beautiful. The colour palettes are quite, I don't want to say gloomy, but they are darker, if that makes sense. So I am going to get 2 tarot card designs. I think I'm getting, no, I'll keep it a surprise. I will keep that a surprise. So I've got some washi tape coming, and I have 2 patterns that are tarot cards. They do the tarot cards, they do the zodiac, they've got some really beautiful Halloween cross stitches as well, some nice big large ones as well. Oh my goodness, the messages are going madness. Oh, someone's lost a cat. Oh no, okay, right, I need to really get this sorted, because I need to have a look outside, see if I can see a cat. Right, okay, so Innocent Bones, that should be coming tomorrow. I have had the message, just checking time, yep, okay, so I have had the message to, that has completely thrown me. I kind of want to go out in arms and looking for a cat. Oh no. Brain, come on, brain. Can do this. Innocent Bones, that should be coming tomorrow. I have had the message through Shop, I think it's called. Is it Shop? I think it's Shop. To say that it should be delivered tomorrow, so that's exciting. I also have, I placed an order with Siobhan's Crafts this weekend, and that should be coming. I got the dispatch notice, I think yesterday, so that should be coming this week as well. Really, really excited. She had a lovely update at the weekend. There were some mystery bags. I did manage to get hold of a mystery bag, because I love a mystery bag. We know I love a mystery bag. I also ordered 2, what are they called? 2 stitch marker sets. One that's like a Halloween-y style one. They are skeletons, but they're skeletons of Pokemon and Disney characters. I'm so excited. So that's coming as well. I also have a set of just Disney characters. I think that's what I ordered. Yes, I think that's what I ordered. So yeah, but she was also doing a little extra with a gumball machine. So I think with every £10 that you spend, you got one of the little gumballs that has stitch markers in, I believe, I'm not sure. So if she has any left, I might get some of those in my order as well as like a little extra bonus. So those are what I've ordered and what is coming this week. So you should see those next week for sure. I do have some more fabric coming actually, because I've ordered some white cotton fabric again for the projects that I'm going to be working on. But I need to leave that there. I need to go cat hunting, and I also have to tidy up before Rob gets home. So probably in that order. No, in the other order. Tidy up, cat hunting. Oh my gosh, I hope it's okay. Hello everyone, just a quick update before I show you the birds of Christmas. The cat has returned home. Just in case you were wondering and worried. I don't know, you may not have been, but that was a bit of a panic moment, I think, for everyone in the village. It's not the best place for a cat to go missing, really, because we are country lanes, 60 mile an hour here, so not the best place for a cat to go missing. So cat is home, cat is safe, all good, so whew, everyone can relax. All right, I am going to leave that there. So thank you so much for watching. As always, it means the absolute world to me, it really does. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day and weekend, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.